Good morning, everybody. You are tuned to Computers 2K Now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next couple of hours, along with Steve.
Hello, everybody.
Good morning. Good afternoon. And Nick is here.
Good morning.
Morning. And Jorvik.
Hello. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Our number is 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. And this morning's show is being made possible by Telestream's Wirecast software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. So what's going on? Hey, everybody. Nick is in North Carolina.
I'm a southerner now. That's how it works, right?
You have to go yee-haw now, don't you?
Yeehaw!
Yeah.
Let's find it. Oh shoot!
Wow. That's a high quality sound effect you got there.
Yeah.
I've got sad news to
So-
open the show.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
Did everybody hear about Microsoft Paint?
Yeah, it's just going away.
They're killing Microsoft Paint
Well,
with the
it's
fall update of Windows 10.
It's weird. They said that they were going to, then they say we're not going to. Now they say they're going to.
This I wonder. The question is, I mean, I know they're going to replace it with some like more advanced tool,
Photoshop.
but
Well, we've
No.
got, didn't we, Paint 3D?
yeah, there's some stupid tool that they're making. But the thing that frustrates me is Paint is, if you just need to crop something really quick, Paint is way easier than Photoshop. Because I have a whole bunch of Photoshop plugins, so my Photoshop takes like a minute and a half to load.
Get an
I can load-
SSD.
It's on an SSD, yeah, but I have like probably 40 plugins linked
Well,
to Photoshop.
trim them down a little bit.
Well, I like using them. So, but when I just need to like crop an image, I like opening it in Paint. But I wonder if it'll because it's just a program, right? What would stop you from downloading it from the internet?
Yeah, somebody will probably crack it and make it available to
Yeah.
everybody on Windows 11.
Yeah, because that would. So sad news to open the show. It's a sad day.
They
Get your box of tissues.
Yeah, absolutely.
may still keep it.
Well, they seem to be changing their mind every 5 minutes, so maybe they will.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, because this Paint 3D is clearly like a I guess you would call it kind of like GIMP. It's not really like Photoshop, but it's got some more advanced. I guess my whole idea is if you're a graphic artist, if you work with online graphics, you already have a tool that works for you. Like it's a little late for Microsoft to introduce a new photo editing tool, right?
Sure. It makes
just-
no sense. It's
just-
redundant.
It's just awkward. Like everybody uses Photoshop, hands down. There's only one. If you're serious with photos or graphics, you use Photoshop or Illustrator, one of the Adobe products. You're not using Paint 3D. So
Mhm.
it's just very, very awkward. I don't know. Doesn't really make much sense.
No. What else is going on? What's happening on the other side of the pond?
Not much. It's going very slow over here, actually. Not
Yes.
much happening at all.
No, it's non-eventful. It's like, I
It
don't
is.
know, everyone's on the back foot waiting for something to happen.
What is supposed to happen next?
Autumn.
Yeah, summer. We're supposed to be getting the last bits of summer, and then autumn will be here.
B. Did we lose Steve?
No, I'm still here.
Oh.
I
What-
didn't get what you said.
No, I said, what's going to happen? Why are you waiting for autumn?
I said, well, the last bits of summer, and then autumn's what we've got to look forward to. There's nothing in the news coming up.
Oh, when I was sitting reading yesterday to try to come up with stories, I mean, everything is so slow.
It's just
There's nothing technically happening, is there?
So Tesla released the Model 3.
Mm.
Apparently, first 30 customers have got the Model 3. So that's something new in the technology world.
I saw some stupid article that I think it was like the second or third person who was supposed to get the Tesla 3 gave their order number to Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Well, Elon Musk owns the freaking company.
Yeah, why wouldn't he just make himself the first one?
Well, it's like it was the stupidest thing I've ever read. It's like, why would you give away your, spot in line to the guy who owns the company? If he wants a Tesla 3, he can get a Tesla 3. Believe me. He doesn't need your number. He doesn't need your pre-order number. Very, very stupid.
The world is not looking favorably on him right now. Everybody's complaining about they're all trying to find flaws. I don't understand it.
It's what usually happens when you're successful.
No.
Well, yeah, but see, I'm not a fan of him at all.
You don't need to be a fan.
Yeah, well, I mean, there's no wonder people hate him. I mean, he's grown rich off the back of the federal government. I mean, that's plain and simple. There's no other way around it. Every company he owns, or that has been profitable up to this point, has been subsidized by the government. Solar City, it's like 70% of their income is grants from the federal government because they subsidize solar so much. So no wonder. I mean,
yeah, but by the same token, you can't take away from him what
I'm not taking
the
away from him.
advancements that he made.
No, I'm not taking away the advancements he made, but you look at somebody like Jeff Bezos, who I'm not a fan of whatsoever, but he built Amazon. The government wasn't there handing him money.
Yeah.
I mean, Google, Microsoft. I mean, for the most part, those companies weren't. And again, he's using the system that's in place, so I don't fault him for using that system. It's a stupid system.
And
I can see why people are turned off to it because most of his successful companies are subsidized.
And you heard what happened this week with Amazon, with Bezos?
I did. For one day.
Oh, it went down again?
Yep.
Oh.
It was so he was the world's wealthiest man. But it had something to do with earnings were coming out the day at his earnings came out like Thursday, and then something with Microsoft came out Friday. So for one day he was the wealthiest man, and then
yeah, they were saying that if the shares will hold, then it's going to be a sort of like a permanent thing, but it did not, I guess. I did not follow.
$90 billion he's worth.
So do you think Musk and Tesla cars are going to be like DeLorean? Once the government funding's dried up, they'll go bust.
I think so, 100%. Here's the problem with the Teslas: they're too expensive. They're not practical for most of America. Now, if you live in a big city, it's some sort of practicality. But if you don't live in a big city, it's just not a practical motor vehicle, and it's too damn expensive.
Well, he's got a lot of charge points dotted around the place, hasn't he?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of malls that have them.
Time will tell, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's still the problem with battery power. I mean, it's how long's we've hit such a brick wall with in terms of batteries. I mean, why is it that my cell phone doesn't last 3 days on a charge?
Remember the old days when you could replace the battery? At least you could get a backup one and recharge it separately.
Yeah, it's somebody's got to do some serious research on battery technology. I mean, I know he's doing a lot with batteries, which hopefully he'll come up with some new type of battery tech that can be implemented by everybody else. And
a lot of companies are doing a lot with batteries. Go ahead, Jorvik.
Yeah, I think battery capacity is almost ceiling. I don't think they get much more out. I think the clue will be in fast charging.
Yeah,
you'll be able
probably.
to charge batteries faster.
Yeah, Because I mean, there's only you can only shove so many little components that generate heat into a small space.
The problem there is if you've got something that is fast charging. I read on Engadget this week that somebody's developed a battery that will charge in seconds rather than minutes, or 20 minutes, something like that. It will actually charge in seconds. But in order to do that, you need a big power supply to actually push that kind of voltage and amperage through quickly. And thereby lies the problem from that side of it.
I think it'll be more of a capacitor than a battery.
Yeah, if we could get capacitors more efficient, then that probably will be the way to go.
Because that way it goes in instantly and, shouldn't degenerate. You should be able to trickle it out.
Capacitor.
It's getting the power into the capacitor for it to discharge itself and then get the power back in again.
Yeah, you could charge a capacitor a lot faster.
But you need,
I don't know,
a good rate of amps for that, don't you?
Yeah.
It's the electronics that's needed. Someone will come up with a way of developing something that charges quickly and will trickle the power out.
But isn't it so fascinating, the leaps and bounds that we've had just in the past couple of years with just microprocessors and stuff, but battery for the most part has been pretty stagnant. It's just interesting.
There's a lot of tech going on and a lot of research going into it, and you occasionally read something that they've made a breakthrough, but to actually bring it to market and upsize it enough that it makes it a viable option to make it a mass market thing is going to take years.
It's hard to keep up though, because if in the past battery sizes were big, and if batteries are still that big, the technology would probably be pushing more into them. But the technology makes things smaller and smaller and smaller. And the problem is you have to have a battery. It's a bit like Nick was saying, you've got to get something that will fit in that small case. And that's where the problem comes.
Yeah.
Something that small won't hold the charge.
Well,
Walk around with solar cells glued to our heads.
There you go. Problem solved.
I don't know that we are stagnant in what batteries we have. I think we're stagnant in batteries for the personal devices that we have, because they did make a lot of advancements with the bigger batteries for the cars, for other things, but for the laptops and for the phones and for that, yeah, that's been kind of stagnant. It's if anything, it's been going, for some companies, it's been going backwards, like Samsung.
Well, like Steve said, there is advances in technology, but in terms of how much of that is coming to the consumer in a usable way,
Right? Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's the thing.
They can do it all with millivolts and things like that. At least you ramp it up to a usable size, but that's the problem is actually ramping it up and making it as effective and as usable as it is in their sort of testing phases. As soon as you start to ramp it up, you find all sorts of problems, and that's why it takes so long to fine tune it to get it to that point.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any big breakthrough around the corner in the next year or two. It's going to be 8 or 10 years.
Which is unfortunate.
We'll just have to wait for the aliens to land, and they can just hand us the technology.
Yeah, there you go. That's the solution. That's probably more likely.
They already did. It's just that whoever got it is not putting it out there because it's got to be bridged. Other people have to make money in the process.
Yeah, they buy it and shelve it.
Yeah,
because it's more money in oil.
Yeah. 919-518-9773. Computers 2K voice on Skype. Call us. Call us.
Call in.
Let's see what else we have here. this is right up my alley. Well, no, I have an opinion. For a select group of individuals, Google has enabled autoplay videos in search. We are constantly experimenting with ways to improve the search experience for our users, but have no plans to announce the feature at this time. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter all have similar features that were introduced fairly recently. What do you think? Do you find automatic videos to be a nuisance? I do.
Yes.
Yeah.
As long as you've got your mouse over the video itself, then at least you don't get the sound.
You know,
yeah,
where
but
I find it a real nuisance, especially, I mean, Amnon, you can appreciate this when you're producing something, when you're doing a show and you're trying to look up something.
Yep.
I mean, what I end up doing is, like, when I do Against the Norm from the setup here, I mute every tab. You can right click on a tab and mute it. And I make sure all my tabs are muted, because sometimes, especially news websites, they just start auto playing videos. And it's not even about the topic. Like, you're on CNN and you're looking at something and it's auto playing a video about something else. It's not even related.
Autoplay to be on by default or anything is a nuisance. The problem.
Go to any newspaper website and read an article. They all have auto played videos on the right hand side.
I know but it still is ridiculous.
Stupid.
Last night when I was reading the stories, there was something down at the bottom. Oh, it said that Barron's IQ is going to leave you speechless. I said, wait, that's good to know here. Let's read this. Trump's son. I clicked on it and started reading, and suddenly sound record, an autoplay came on. So I scroll up and down looking for a video that's playing. Nothing. I looked in what's open. There was no extra window that was open that I couldn't. And I'm saying, okay, so now they figured out how to just play audio. And they don't give you a chance to turn it off. I mean, now it may have been there, but if you have to look and look and look in order to find it, that's a nuisance.
You click off the page straight away.
Yeah, well, that's what I ended up doing.
The more annoying they make it, the bigger they shoot themselves in the foot. Is ridiculous.
And, and some people may not realize, but like, let's say, parents work all day, come in, take care of the kids and everything, put the kids to bed, and then they sit down and say, okay, let's catch up on what's happening. And during the day, somebody turned the volume up.
Yeah.
And here you go, and boom. There's no reason for it. If I want to listen to a video, I will click on it.
Yep.
So yeah, that's
It's good for monitor sales, though, because every time it happens, somebody punches their fist through the middle of the monitor, and then you have to buy a new one.
There was something about this, about monitors. What was it? Something about Apple. They're building a plant in the States. Oh, Foxxcon, one of the world's largest electronic manufacturers, will unveil plans Wednesday, which was last Wednesday, to build a new factory in southern Wisconsin. The family will make flat screen displays. So maybe most of the angry people are down there, and these are the ones who punch holes in it.
Must be. Wisconsin must be the hotbed of it.
These stories are. This one is from Slashdot, and it is amazing. I took the story and I really pared it down and cleaned it up, everything in, I mean, there was more written in that little article about Trump than about what's actually is happening here. Oh, he needs that. He needs this win, and he needs that, and they're going to help the administration. So, well, shut up. Talk about technical. I clicked on the technology tab, not on the politic tab.
Every
It's
single major tech or gaming website has gone completely off the deep end towards the left, and none of
It's
them bother talking
amazing.
about news anymore.
Yeah.
We were having, man, I was having this conversation with Suncast from GFQ the other week. He's like, do any of these tech blogs cover technology anymore, or is it just all politics now?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to mix some politics in there,
No.
it's fine.
No, I don't want you to mix any politics in it.
Well-
I go to political sites to get political news. I don't go to Engadget to read about politics. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, I would have no problem with a little bit of here, a little
No,
bit there.
it's
but
not
when
necessary. Why?
No, I agree. It's not
I
necessary.
don't care. I don't care what some stupid tech writer has to say about some Apple fanboy. I don't care what he has to say about the president. It's irrelevant.
It is.
It's so unbelievably freaking stupid.
Yeah, but
You mentioned Apple. Did you see that Apple has pulled all the VPN apps from their China stores?
Yes, I did. That's interesting, isn't it?
Well, only last week there was a report came out of some American news site saying that China was pulling all VPNs and banning them all, and then China came back and said, "Oh no, we're not actually doing that." And now it turns that Apple has pulled all VPNs, so they are going to be removing VPN use from China, which is quite scary, really, because that's how the majority of Chinese people actually get international news.
So the next time that somebody says that Donald Trump is a dictator, just reference the country of China, where they literally do not let the people access outside information.
What does this tater mean?
What does what mean?
You said tater.
No, it's a dictator.
Oh, I see. Donald Trump is a dick. I just wonder what tater meant.
There you go. So that's true. That's a good one, Steve. I give you credit for that one. Steve, you should go work at Engadget. I think you do a fantastic job.
Thank you.
But I mean, isn't that? I've read some articles of it's like a different world in China.
It is. We speak. Mike and I speak. Well, used to. We don't so much these days, but we used to speak to a lot of Chinese people that were trying to improve their English. And it's amazing the stuff that they come out with. That you think, well, wow, really? Does this actually go on?
Like I'm big into the video game scene. There are companies like Activision Activision publishes Call of Duty, which is probably one of the most successful series of all time. They produce a version of their game every year just for China that doesn't have blood.
Good grief!
Like every year, it's the most insane thing.
It is a completely different world. No two ways about it.
It is absolutely insane. I mean, this stuff is all going to hit a point. I mean, even though they'll take the VPN apps out, they're not taking the VPN functionality off of the phone, right?
No, it's actually a VPN app that you download. You know, the actual functionality. You know, like you would go and get a VPN on your computer, and then you actually go through that VPN rather than going through your internet service provider.
No, but I'm saying that the iOS by default has a VPN that you can manually key in VPN settings. Are they getting rid of those, or just the apps that?
The apps.
Okay, so you would still be able to use it if you had your own.
Most modern devices, have a VPN client now. Though.
Yeah, that's what it has. But then recently with iOS 10, they actually got rid of one of the protocols, whatever the least secure protocol is, PPTP or I think or something like that. They got rid of that, but that's crazy that they're getting rid of that, and it's crazy that they're so willing. Apple is so willing to work with the Chinese government that they'll just get rid of all those apps.
It's a big market for them.
Yeah.
They've got lots of money invested over there, haven't they? So,
yeah.
You know, did you hear what else Apple removed this week? They removed the iPod Nano and iPod Shuffle from its website and online stores around the world.
Wow.
Suggesting the iconic portable media players may be discontinued. Apple continues to sell the iPod Touch. Beyond new colors and storage capacities, Apple had last updated the iPod Nano in 2012 and the iPod Shuffle in 2010. Apple last updated the iPod Touch in 2015 with an 8-megapixel rear camera. They introduced the Shuffle in 2005, followed by the iPod Nano in September 2005. In total, there were 7 generations of the iPod Nano and 4 generations of the iPod Shuffle. And they actually confirmed that they have discontinued the devices. This is amazing. I mean, history is changing. Technology is changing so fast. We're seeing history changing, and we can say, yeah, they had it and then it went. They had it and then it went.
Who'd have thought 5-6 years ago that you'd have so much memory capacity on your smartphone?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. Why would you even buy? Why would you buy an iPod?
Well, I mean, the iPod, I don't know, but I mean, those little ones, the Shuffle and the smaller ones, are nice for people that exercise. They can carry it on their shoulder and they can run with it, and it's lighter. But
You know what's so interesting? You could buy a cheap Android phone
yeah,
for the cost of one of those things.
yeah, but I mean, they are a little heavier, a little.
Yeah.
I mean, you see a lot of people running around and they have their phone on their arm, tied up there, which is fine because you get both. You're tethered to the world and you have your music. But the only thing I can see with those little things is, yeah, it's why would anybody buy them? You're right. But it's amazing that it lasted what 10.
I got an
15?
iPod Shuffle probably 2006 or 2007. That
Phew.
thing was pretty neat.
Yeah.
Useless, beyond useless, but pretty neat.
But it's okay. I mean,
How much was it?
It made the money. I have no earthly
I
idea.
bet you it was probably pretty expensive.
No idea.
Let's see.
Hey, I just noticed that Nick put his name in the chat as Nick in North Carolina.
Yeah, I'm a southerner now.
Yeehaw.
Gotta live up. I'm gonna find the price on this thing. Let's see. So the original one, which was a 1 gig Shuffle, which, the Shuffle, for people that don't know, is the one that didn't have a screen. It had a play button, volume up and down, and skip left, skip right. The original version was $80, and then as they moved up the capacity and it got older, it went down to $50.
Anybody knows when they stopped producing the iPod, the actual iPod? It's
well, which one though? There was
there were different generations, but it was the one that had the hard drive in it, an actual hard drive.
Those were cool. I would say probably 2006 or 2007.
I never had it. The only thing that I had ever as a music player was the Zoom.
The Zune, you mean?
Zune. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Microsoft's abysmal attempt at trying to make an audio device. God, I hate Microsoft with a passion. They're so incompetent.
I used it for 2 days.
It was just the biggest piece of junk in the world.
Yeah.
Oh God! What were they thinking with that? Did anybody else have a Zune?
Fortunately, not. No.
Oh
No.
just because you could get them. Microsoft was so. I mean, I don't know how much you paid for yours. Microsoft was trying to get rid of these things. They were practically giving them away at stores.
Yep.
And you could get an equivalent storage space to an iPod for like $75 near Christmas time or Thanksgiving. It was insane.
was typical Microsoft, wasn't it? It was like, oh, there's a product that's doing well. We need to get into that market. Let's just throw something at them.
Yeah, it was really bad. It was huge. It was bulky. It was bigger than the original iPod. It had a nice screen, though. I'll give it that. It had a really nice screen.
I never had one, so I don't know. But yeah, that's the end of that. Use your phone now.
Yep.
Well, so yesterday, I mean, for the last few months, you keep hearing me talking about Marshall, my friend Marshall. He's the one that used to be the big kahuna back in the early days of Computers 2K now, or when it was Computer 90 something. But anyway, he replaced his iPhone 6 with iPhone 7. And ever since he did that, we'll be talking and suddenly his voice will go muffled. And I said, Marshall, I can understand what you're saying. And he would move the phone a little bit and it'll be okay. In the beginning, I thought he was holding it with his shoulder. And I said, hold it to your ear. Stop doing that. And he said, I'm not. I'm holding it to my ear. So, and he heard this from other people. He went back and forth with Apple. I mean, he called Apple corporate office and talked with some of the executives. And he was going to sue Apple in small claim courts just to get the word out. And nobody could help him there. He said, I want the iPhone 6. It worked okay. Sell me one of the 6, because he bought it directly from Apple. Sell me a 6 and give me the difference back. And they wouldn't do it because they said they didn't have 6. So yesterday he calls and he said he was talking with somebody online. Not talking, he was reading about other people with that problem. And somebody was saying, did you change the SIM?
Mm.
And he said, no, because he went to Verizon with the phone and they said, just take the SIM out of your 6 and put it in 7, it's fine. And the guy said, I had that problem. So he went to the Verizon store and he got them to replace his SIM, and all the problems are gone.
There you go.
So if you're updating a 6 to a 7 and they tell you to use the same SIM, tell them, no, I want a new SIM.
At least the problem has been sorted. That's the
Yeah.
important thing.
And I mean, and it's a simple solution. Somebody though said, "Oh, you can use the same SIM."
But you typically can. I mean, see, here's the thing. He just had a bad SIM and something with the iPhone.
Yeah, that's very possible.
Because the SIMs aren't really different from device to device.
Yeah.
But it could have just been an older SIM, which would
seems
explain an issue.
Strange that it was working okay in 6 and then not in 7. So
Yeah.
what's different in 7 that stops the older SIM from working? Because basically a SIM's a SIM's a SIM's a SIM's a SIM.
Exactly.
Yeah, he called and we talked and he said, "So do you see any difference?" I said, "No, you sound fine." He said, "Yep, that was the SIM."
Weird.
Yep. What else? Let's see. So now AMD is coming up with cheaper Ryzens.
Mhm.
Cheaper Ryzens processors. The affordably priced Ryzen 3. It will complement the previously launched Ryzen 7 and 5. Isn't that amazing? Same as the i3, i5, i7.
Wonder where they got that idea from.
Not a clue.
but it will target entry-level price points. It will feature the same die as its higher-end Ryzen 7 and 5 siblings, but it has fewer active cores, and symmetrical multi-threading SMT has been disabled. I have no idea what that is.
Oh no, they haven't disabled that, have they?
Ryzen 3 processors
Steve's crying. Oh no.
feature quad-core configurations, leverage the same socket and chip packaging, and are also fully unlocked for easy overclocking.
There you go.
And they
Well,
can,
that's not
and they will.
that's not bad if they've left the overclocking option there.
Yeah, they said that it can go all the way to 4 point something.
Wow.
Good luck when the computer will melt by the time it hits that. Like an AMD processors.
It's just have 911 on speed dial.
It's on standby.
And they're going to cost about $109. Should be. I mean, they are out there. They said.
So let me tell you what I think the perfect use case for this is. If
Okay.
you're now, of course, if you need just a low end computer for not a low end computer, but you need some power, but not an insane amount of power. I think it's good. But for people like Sean and myself are always trying to get like a decently priced home server to run like a game server on or something. Those chips are perfect because they're very cheap. You can get the hardware cheap for them, and you can build a little gaming server for, I don't know, $400-500. That's what I think these things are. I'm gonna end up building one of these and replace my home server with it because it's just perfect power, but it's affordable.
There was something else that I guess I didn't keep it. Talking about small computers, Intel killed the Arduino and one other.
They don't make the Arduino.
Well,
You mean the NUC, the NUC?
They were talking about the board, the embedded.
And they must build a product that
it.
comes with an Arduino because the Arduino's not they don't make the Arduino.
They were talking, what do they call them? The Makers. The Makers series.
Yeah, I don't know what those are.
Somebody in the chat? I don't. Oh,
I got
no,
nothing.
it's Intel. There it is. Intel just killed off its last Maker movement hardware offering without fanfare by quietly releasing a product change notification. The Arduino 101 is halting production on September 17th. This microcontroller board is built around the Intel Curry module, around which Intel bankrolled a television series called America's Greatest Makers. News on the end of the life of the Arduino 101 board follows the recent cancellation of their Joule, Galileo, and Edison boards. This is the entirety of Intel's Maker offerings and seems to signal their exit from entry-level embedded hardware. So it is who builds the Arduino, Nick? Maybe it's because the chip is not going to be available, so they are halting production of it.
Couldn't tell you.
The company, but it's a lot of people are using them for.
Yeah, but the Arduino's a name. They're not the actual makers of the Arduino.
Okay.
No, but they're making the board that the Arduino is using.
Yeah, one of the boards, I would assume.
The Arduino 101.
Okay. Well, there you go. You heard it here first.
So yeah, it's their Maker movement, they call it, the Maker products.
I didn't even realize that there was such a thing as a Maker product line from Intel.
No.
Now that I do, it doesn't matter because it's finished.
Yeah.
Oh well,
Just in time.
just in time. Thanks for telling.
Zip, zip. You know, it just came in and went. Let's see. Now I don't remember this happening with any other USB. We have USB 3, but did you know that there is USB 3.1
Yes.
and now there's USB 3.2?
Yes.
There was no 2 point something, was there?
No.
There was no
two
1
straight to
point
3.
something. You're right. There was 1, there was 2, then there was 3.0.
But also remember, USB 3 is much more. It's different than previous USBs. I mean, it's the same way you look at like Thunderbolt.
Well,
You can do anything with USB 3. So that there. I mean, it's like HDMI's got different. You wouldn't think with HDMI, but there's HDMI
yeah.
1.2. You know, and some of them support HDR, some don't. It's a whole bunch of different stuff.
Let's see who's online.
It's Gene.
Hey, good morning, Gene.
Hey, Jane.
Good morning.
What's up?
Hey, Nick, your new laboratory looks a little empty out there. You have to fix that up a little bit.
Oh, it's been when did I've only been here since Thursday, so we're
Okay.
rocking and rolling.
I'm sure you will. Listen, I'm wanted to talk this morning a little bit, or get your opinions a little bit on a few functions that are available through Windows 10 and iTunes that I think are redundant. And I'm just wondering how many people use this stuff, and what do you? Let me start out with and just name a couple: Quick Access, OneDrive, the iCloud Drive, iCloud if you have iTunes installed. I mean, what's all this stuff on there for, and who uses it?
So
Talk about quick example. I mean, if I want to go find a document, I know where to go to find a document. Why do I need another whole bunch of stuff on the desktop telling me that there's quick access?
do you want one in particular? I mean, there's like 1,000 things. I mean, iCloud is essentially a mix of Google Drive and Dropbox. This is the thing with the Apple things, Gene. Unless you're completely engulfed in the iOS operating system, as in you only have MacBooks or iMacs and iPhones, they're not very useful. So if you're trying to mix a PC with an iPhone or a MacBook, their solutions aren't really. I don't think they're very good. Now, if you're in the whole ecosystem, I think they're great. Our friend Stephen Haywood, who's a big Apple guy, he uses that stuff, but he for the most part pretty much only uses Macs and iPhones. So it works out. But if you're trying to mix and match, they're not really practical.
But this is, are you talking, Gene, are you talking about a Mac, or are you talking about a Windows machine?
A Windows machine. Now, if you install iTunes, you get all of this iCloud Drive and all this iCloud stuff coming in with it.
Yeah, it's pre-installed. Actually, Mike Phillips was talking about this. He said that the new iTunes was something almost like 300 megabytes to install. They make the Windows applications. They're just not very good. I think you can uninstall them separately, though.
It's essentially that type of thing gives you the availability of storing your documents and your files in the cloud. So if you're away from home, you can still access it from a different computer rather than carrying around, say, a thumb drive or an external drive with you.
Yeah, but you're doing backup, like I'm doing backup on an external hard drive, and I'm also doing, a backup Clown with Carbonite. Got everything backed
That's
up.
because you're a sensible person, but the average person doesn't do that. So, if they want access to the documents or they want access to the photos, whatever it might be, rather than carrying around a drive with them when they go and visit a friend, they can say, here, let me get on your computer. I'll log into my iDrive or my OneDrive account, and I can show you the pictures we just took on holiday. It's that type of scenario, really.
Yeah. Okay. How about like quick access in OneDrive when you open up, Windows, and you go to Explorer? You got what's OneDrive? I just ignore it. But what's this OneDrive?
So OneDrive is it's pretty much iCloud, but for Windows. It's their document storage solution. And again, it's the same thing. If you're completely invested in the Microsoft ecosystem, it's probably something that'll work for you. If you mix and match, like I don't even think there's a OneDrive app on the iPhone. It doesn't work, but they're like Dropbox and Google Drive. It's just Microsoft and Apple have their own proprietary ones that they force on people.
The quick access, this is what, when you open File Explorer, that's what you're talking about, is it?
Yeah, that quick access stuff is just redundant because, if I'm going to open up, for years, you go to your PC, you open up Explorer, you know where documents are, and you go to documents.
You can change that. You can change that if you click on View Options. Then you can either have it open with quick access, or you can change it in a drop down so it opens in this PC or my PC. I don't have quick access because I very rarely open it and want to go straight into photos or music or whatever else. I want it to show this PC, so you can change it in the view options.
Okay, I'm going to do that too, because to me it's just sitting there redundant. I haven't done anything about it. I just ignore it, but it is a pain in the butt.
It takes up half the window, doesn't it?
OneDrive too. Can you stop OneDrive from coming up if you're not using it?
You can disable it, yeah.
So are you on Windows 10, Gene?
Say again?
Are you on Windows 10?
Yeah.
So if you open up the Task Manager and go to the Startup tab, OneDrive is a service that starts with Windows. You can disable it, and it won't start with. You can tell it to not start with Windows.
Okay.
And you can
do that too.
And you could probably do it to a lot of other programs that you don't use.
Yeah, that's a good tip for everybody. Go through that.
I'm pretty much aware of those. I use basically CCleaner. I go to Startup and I make sure that I got everything pretty well cleaned up in terms of what applications are going to open when I open up the system. So I got pretty good control of that, but I haven't messed around taking OneDrive off and quick access, but I think I am, because to me they're just in my way.
I don't think you can take I don't know if you can take OneDrive fully off, but I know you can disable it to a point.
I wouldn't.
No, you can't.
I don't think they allow you. It's built in.
Yeah, you can't uninstall it. There's certain apps and things you can uninstall, but some of them they're grayed out and you can't click the uninstall button. It's not an uninstall.
When you uncheck, that's for everybody. When you uncheck these programs in the startup, you're not removing them. All you're doing is you're telling, don't start with Windows. You can always start them if you want to, and they will start if needed, but it'll take a microsecond longer to come up.
A lot of this stuff is there ready for in case you might want to use it. Well, what's the point in having 10 different things that are there just in case you might want to use them when you use them once a month?
Right.
They're sitting in the background, and they're using up space and stuff like that. Or
they're using resources.
Yeah.
Right. So if you're not going to use them, why start them?
Right. Absolutely. But the point is, don't uninstall them, because you may want to use them later on.
Yeah, that's okay. Just disable it.
Right.
Yeah. Disable it from startup. That's easy enough.
What other programs?
Can you do? I haven't seen. Can you do that with OneDrive? I can check here, but
Yeah, Nick was saying that OneDrive is in in the startup.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
You might not be able to get rid of it, but you can disable it.
Yeah. Okay, good enough. Thanks a lot, guys.
Sure,
Gene. Have a good one.
Who's Mad Kiwi, by the way? He's got an awful lot to say.
I don't know.
Yeah. You got to call in. I don't know who he is.
It's my alter ego.
He's doing a good job.
I'm going back on a PC.
All right.
Take care.
Bye, Gene.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Hey, Jane. Bye. Yeah, Mad Kiwi, call in if you never shut up. It's you can join the conversation. You'll be more than welcome. It's 919-518-9773. Or if you're on Skype, Computers 2K Voice.
Yup.
And we should start a mailbag segment where people mail you things and we read them on the show. I mean, we can't get people to call in on Skype, but I'm sure they'll go to the
Yep.
post office and mail letters.
Mhm.
He says, I'm an old bald nerd. Don't mind me. You're much the same as the rest of us here, apart from Nick.
Excuse me? Thank you.
Yep.
So no mailbag? Okay. You know, I
No.
will though. Starting next week or the week after, I'll start specials up, like I did when Spence was away last time.
Yeah,
That's good of you.
I thought Spencer will join us today because he sent a message on Facebook last night. He said, celebrating having a day off tomorrow. So I don't know.
He may be celebrating his day off and not getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, that's maybe.
I saw the email he sent through about LEDs blinking that is giving everybody headaches, migraine, and causing them to
I didn't
go do
read
lally.
it. It's an interesting article.
Yeah, I didn't realize it, but with a fluorescent tube or fluorescent bulb, it flickers, but it reduces by about 30%. But with an LED bulb, it actually switches on and off several times a second, which makes your brain work harder and possibly ends up giving you a headache. So all these people that are, I mean, I hadn't noticed it, but I can imagine if you're working in an environment where there are lots of LEDs, it could be a problem. I know it was a problem for people with fluorescent tubes. Lots of people would get eye strain and all sorts because of it. It didn't affect me, luckily.
I would imagine if you're somebody that's already prone to getting headaches more often, and I'm sure you would maybe notice it more than somebody that's just gets headaches from time to time.
Yeah. But if it's that noticeable that the brain has to work harder, how's it going to be for somebody that's got epileptic fits?
Absolutely, yeah.
That could be a problem, couldn't it?
Yep.
That's no joke.
The good thing is that we probably won't be around to know whether it affected us or not.
No, only in the latter years will we.
You will, Nick.
Yeah, I'll be blind at 35. All these damn LED bulbs.
Blind and crazy out of your mind.
Yeah, I'll be 35. Can't see anything. Thanks, Ellie. Thanks, Steve.
So Microsoft last Wednesday announced the Windows Bounty Program. Rewards start at a minimum of $500 and can go up as high as $250,000.
Dollars.
Oh, is this their find a bug program you're talking about?
And the article goes, to be clear, Microsoft already offers many bug bounty programs. This is also not the first to target Windows features. The company has launched many Windows-specific bounties for those starting in 2012. The Windows Bounty Program, however, encompasses Windows 10 and even the Windows Insider Preview, the company program for testing Windows 10 preview builds. Furthermore, it also has specific focus areas: Hyper-V, Mitigation Bypass, Windows Defender Application Guard, and Microsoft Edge. So I was going to join it and just tell them the Microsoft Edge is a big bug.
I installed Windows 10 on my work PC yesterday.
Yeah.
And it I opened up as most people, I opened up Edge to install Chrome. So I opened Edge, installed Chrome, and then I had to go back to Edge to install a piece of software that requires Edge. And it said something to the extent of, your other web browser will not work well with Windows 10. Please switch back to us.
Yeah.
And I was like, you mother.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's just unbelievable. It's such a garbage browser.
They're trying. And you know how many people fall for this?
If you don't have no idea, if you have no idea what you're doing, you're 100%.
Absolutely.
100% using Edge. Of course you are. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
I don't know what's the matter with Internet Explorer. It's fine.
Yeah, but they hid it.
Yeah, you can still get to it. You just got to
Yeah,
type it all in.
You just need
type
to
it
know
in and
where
it's there.
where it's at, right?
I'm happy with Chrome for Hangouts. Works fine. Vivaldi for everything else.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely not a big fan of the of them pushing that stuff on people. It's quite
They
frustrating.
got into trouble in the EU because they didn't give people the option of installing a different browser. It was like IE and that was it, and they got fined several million for doing it. And now they're doing exactly the same thing with Edge and not giving people a browser choice, which is what they got into trouble for before. So
Right.
they seem to be pushing the limits a little bit. They're likely to get fined again. Don't know what's the matter with them.
More power to them.
Well, they got some money, haven't they?
Yeah.
And Dr. John sent me an email about a Mac
Oh, this is the email segment, is it? Okay.
malware.
Oh, perfect.
So the article goes, a mysterious piece of malware has been infecting hundreds of Mac computers for years, and no one noticed until a few months ago. The malware is called Fruitfly, and one of its variants, Fruitfly 2, has infected at least 400 victims over the years. Fruitfly 2 is intriguing and mysterious. Its goals, who's behind it, and how it infects victims are all unknown. Earlier this year, an ex-NSA hacker started looking into a piece of malware he described as unique and intriguing. It was a slightly different strain of malware discovered on 4 computers earlier this year by security firm Malwarebytes, known as Fruitfly. This first strain had researchers scratching their heads. On the surface, the malware seems simplistic. It was programmed mainly to superstitiously monitor victims through their webcams, capture their screens, and log keystrokes. But strangely, it went undetected since at least 2015. There was no indication of who could be behind it, and it contained ancient functions and rudimentary remote control capabilities. I'm surprised that they didn't have something in the software that, like an IP, a website or something. I guess whoever wrote it, disseminated or whatever, put it out there, and then they would go scan the net, and until they find a computer that was infected with it, and then they could get into it. But it's again and again, if you have a Mac, it doesn't mean that you cannot get infected with malware, viruses, spyware. Don't take it for granted that you are not going to. Yeah, your chances are less than if you have a Windows machine, but you still have the capabilities still out there. And as protection against these on the PC is getting better and better, those guys are going to go into the Mac. So go get yourself an anti-malware, anti-spyware, antivirus. There are free ones out there. Install them. 2 years, and nobody even knew about it. Bad stuff. I mean, look at the numbers over here. Apple's latest patent spat with Nokia resulted in a $2 billion upfront payment from the iPhone maker. A colossal sum that seems to indicate Apple was eager to avoid a protracted and ugly dispute that could rival the one it had with Samsung. I mean, I don't understand. Are these people? I wish Mike was here. Oh, Mike is here. Morning, Mike.
Good morning.
Good morning. I don't understand Apple. I mean, why would you go and use something like this that you know is copyrighted and has a patent by somebody else and think that you can get away with it? Where is the sense? Can you explain that?
Are you asking me to explain?
Yeah.
I can give you a bunch of reasons.
Okay.
You want to do copyright or patent first?
No, I mean this is here because of a patent. I mean, I added copyright, but no, this is about a patent that Nokia had a patent on this, but Apple used it anyway, and they paid $2 billion to settle it because they didn't want to have a court. If it's that bad of a situation, why couldn't they predict it before?
Why didn't they go to Apple and say, look, you've got this patent, we'd like to use the technology, whatever else it is. What's the fee that you're going to charge?
I don't know. So, Mike, what?
Patent law is very complicated, very, very complicated. And that is that the accused, how can I explain this? The patent that is being infringed must what's called be read on by the offending technology. What we're saying here is that, let's say that there are 10 elements that have to be met to be an infringement. And so the infringer says, well, no, we can do it in 8. So it's not the same technology. And then the patent office or the court looks at it and says, no, actually they're equivalent. They're the same. We do think they're the same one. We think they're patentably indistinct. I mean, this is a very non-technical explanation.
Okay, no, that's good. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that in my experience and in most cases, the infringer is doing it out of ignorance instead of intentionally trying to steal something from someone. When people would come to me and say, well, I'm pretty sure this is patentable because there's not one out there. I've looked, I've never seen one. This would be their standard for determining whether they're likely to be an infringer or whether they can get a patent on the technology. Having said that, I would then go and do a search and come up with probably 25 or 30 that looked almost identical, the differences between them being extremely subtle. What happens, let's say that if in the design group, they decide we're going to create this product, and yes, this other company has a patent on it, but we don't think ours is an improvement on theirs. We don't think it's going to infringe theirs. We think it's different enough that we're not going to have a problem. And the engineering manager says, well, how do you know? Well, we're just basing it based on what we read from the patent. Are you a patent lawyer? No. A patentability opinion or even an infringement opinion typically is going to cost $5,000. So every time somebody wants to make a new product and they're concerned about similar technology, are they going to go spend $5,000, $10,000 to have it checked out? If you know that you're going to end up paying $2 billion, $5,000, $10,000 would be a bargain, but you just don't know in advance. It's just not as easy to avoid as you might otherwise think.
There was another story that I did not concerning Apple and patents, and they were fined 2 billion, and then, well, I can't remember the amount, and a judge actually doubled it because they knew that they were in the wrong, and they kept on using it until the day of the hearing.
Right. That's called willful infringement. You don't want to do that.
That's, I mean, I'm just,
Those are punitive damages.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if you've been told what you're doing is wrong and you keep on doing it until it's decided whether what you're doing is wrong is wrong or not, that's kind of slapping you in the face, poking you in the eye, and hitting you with a stick.
Well, the problem with that, though, Steve, is that let's suppose that you have a product, you're making $1 million profit a year. Someone comes to you and says, "Oh, your product is infringing ours." Oh, okay. Well, I'll stop making it until we get an answer to the question. I don't think so, because that might take 5 years.
Yeah.
And so what you do then is you call in all the lawyers and the engineers, and you put it all together, and you spend 25, 35, 45, $55,000 for an initial read. Is there a problem here? No, 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 no. Okay, that's as deep as we're going. Well, there could be a problem here. Now you've got to spend the big bucks to dig even deeper to find out whether there is an infringement. The good news is if you're going to get sued, you're going to need all that research anyway. And unfortunately, not whether you're infringing someone's patent, it's not a matter of just looking at it and saying, yeah, it looks like it to me. The differences between inventions can be extremely subtle, but if they're different, they're qualifying under the Constitution for patent protection.
Rounded corners being an ideal example.
Yep.
Yeah, but now was that? I don't remember if that was patent or whether that was trademark or trade dress. I don't remember. But
Patent, I think, the rounded corners.
what's the functionality of a rounded corner? See, every patent has to be based on functionality and utility. Unless it's a design patent, then it's based on looks. Now, I don't recall whether it was a design patent or what.
Design, I think.
Okay, if it was design, it's just on looks.
But it took it to the extreme of being ridiculous, didn't it? I mean, a rounded corner. How round does a corner have to be to match our patent or patent?
I don't know, but I mean, if it's your billions of dollars, are you going to push it, or are you just going to sit back?
It depends how much you've got in the bank, I suppose.
It's very complicated.
Yes, it is. That's why you know the answers.
Right.
No, I'm serious.
No, I wish I did know all the answers. Think about it. If any one person knew all the answers, we wouldn't need courts.
Well, let's put it this way. Among the people in here right now, you are the most knowledgeable. Okay. 919-518-9773, Computers 2K Voice on Skype. Intel's more than 2-decade reign as king of the silicon-based semiconductor ended last Thursday when Samsung Electronics surpassed the U.S. manufacturer to become the leading maker of the computer chips that are a 21st century staple, much as oil was in the past. They made a bunch more money than Intel on chips, and they are producing a lot more chips. I don't know that they are producing any processors, though. I mean, processors, what we call processors, that we can replace in our computers. But it's interesting. 2 decades. And they took the leadership. And I mean, things are kind of like going down for some of these companies. And in this case here, I'm not crying. Twitter did not add any new users in the second quarter. Can you imagine this? Not one user in 3 months.
Well, that's probably a net change.
It's hard to believe, though, is it? For a company the size of Twitter to not get one new user.
A disappointing follow-up to what had been a promising start in 2017. Twitter reported earnings Thursday morning, claiming 328 million total users, the same number it reported after the first quarter. Analysts had been hoping the company would add around 4 million new users last year.
That's a net change.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's unfortunate that Twitter's benefiting from Trump, and they have benefited because they hate him.
Yeah, I know. And that's what probably happened. I mean, they added so many during the elections and the beginning, and then a lot of people just dropped off because they didn't like their attitude.
Oh, they're horrible.
Yep.
And Twitter's manageable though. If you use, I use the online version of TweetDeck, which as far as I know is the only one that's available. And if you learn how to filter certain things to follow, to like I have a list, it's called a list, that I put certain people in there, and those are just the few I want to see. If I were just to try to follow the regular timeline, I'd never be able to read it all. I mean, they just scroll by so fast you can't read them. So what I do is if somebody wants to follow me, typically if they're not a scammer, I'll follow them back, but then I put them into a list that I can hopefully see the ones I want. And if somebody mentions my name, that comes up in a different column. It's called notifications or something like that. So once you learn how to manage it, it's pretty useful, and it's a useful service. But there's another one out there called GAB.ai. Nick is a big fan of GAB. That's a Twitter replacement that's not a bunch of leftists. They're struggling, but I imagine Twitter did for a while.
Are they still actually going? Yeah, they are.
Yeah, I'm still getting emails from them.
Yeah. Oh shoot! I thought that somebody was telling me that they're no longer there.
They did some sort of a fundraiser to raise some money.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Then we need to promote them. Gab.
Yeah.
Gab.
What have they done? What have they done for you, Amnon?
Well, it's not that what they done
Right.
for me. It's I'd rather promote them than than Twitter.
Well, if they could ever get Trump to switch over to Gab instead of Twitter, these guys would be on
Yep.
on cloud nine.
No, they wouldn't be.
Why?
They don't have an app. They still don't have an iOS app.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, that's stupid.
Oh,
Yeah, that's why nobody uses them, because they don't have an app. They don't have an app.
oh.
They're saying that Apple won't approve the app because of hate speech.
That's probably true.
Well, it might be.
Oh, and Twitter is not, huh?
Right. On Twitter you can see this little blue check if you're verified, which makes you're supposed to make people think you're important. It now, I'm pretty well convinced for the most part, if you see a blue check, that means you're a liberal idiot. But I repeat myself.
Yeah, that's what it used to be. Yeah.
You don't believe it. You mean look at some of these comments whenever John McCain diagnosed with brain cancer. Oh, good, maybe he'll die soon. Get rid of one other Republican and got his blue check mark beside their names.
Yeah, but who cares? I mean,
Who cares what?
Who cares if they have a blue check mark besides their name?
The person with the blue check cares.
Okay, I sure as hell don't care.
No, it's just silly. It's just silly.
No, it's just the whole thing is stupid. It's oh great, you have a blue check mark. Who gives a shit? I mean, seriously, does it? I mean, who cares?
Most people wouldn't know what it means.
No,
anyway.
I mean, it's just the most irrelevant thing in the world.
Yep.
There are people who spend hundreds of hours lobbying to get that blue check.
Yeah, that's fine.
Good for them.
They should go to work.
Work is, they're allergic to it.
No.
All these little checks and marks and stuff on these social media sites are the stupidest things in the world.
True. That and $1 will get you on the bus.
There you go.
So Walmart.com is trailing Amazon.com in the number of goods for sale on its website.
Shocker.
So what are they doing? Recruiting vendors in China and other countries to boost its online offering in a pivot away from Walmart's Made in America campaign. So now they're gonna again, it's just like on Amazon. You have to watch who you buying from. Same thing you're gonna have to do on Walmart and probably Jet, because it'll be Chinese.
Walmart's doing a Made in America campaign?
Apparently, they hadn't. Walmart
For
made.
years.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I just spent about $400. I don't think a single product I own doesn't say made in China.
But you don't understand. You just do the campaign. You really don't worry about where it's made.
Yeah, I mean, wow. Okay. Interesting. They can't sell the stuff they do at that price if it was made in America.
Yeah. Yeah, but now they're actually going actively recruiting.
I don't understand why Walmart is trying to compete with Amazon. They need to do something else. They're not going to beat Amazon. It's just
Well,
not going to
I'll
happen.
tell you why.
Okay.
I mean, if you think about it, Walmart could have been Amazon had they been smart enough.
I think Walmart's happier being Walmart than they are being Amazon.
Right. That's the thing.
I don't think so.
Mike, this is my whole point. So let's say, Mike, you own Walmart, I own Amazon. You're
Mhm.
not going to compete with me. But what you should try to do is be the online seller or the leading online seller of a certain brand or a certain type of product. They're not going to beat Amazon on we sell everything at the best price because they just can't compete.
They
But if
can't.
they, I don't think they can. When was the last time you bought something on Walmart online?
Walmart has the same buying power that Amazon does. Manufacturers have to make a profit on what they do. Walmart, I don't think you realize how big they are.
They are. They're huge.
And let's go a step ahead.
Hold on. Answer this question first. When was the last time you bought something on Walmart online?
About a week ago.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. See, a lot of the stuff that they're carrying, all my pants are the same color. They all come from Walmart because it's the only place that carries them. I believe they may be made for Walmart, and they're cheap pants. I mean, they're not very expensive, but they fit perfectly. And if I get them dirty and get a spot on them, I throw them away because I've hopefully gotten my use out of them. So yeah, I buy there, and there's certain other things that I buy from them. That there's this Walmart down the street, not far, less than a mile from here, this Walmart grocery store. So I can order things and pick it up there if I'm going to be there and save some money. And they still have to be price competitive with Amazon. But going back to what we were saying as to whether Walmart versus Amazon, then let's say that it's 10 years ago and I'm Walmart and you're Amazon. And I see that you're going after the online business. And I say, well, that's online. We really make it on the store traffic, people coming and picking up things, the immediacy, the being able to see. And yeah, we're safe. We don't have to worry about it. People who buy online are not going to stop buying and by walking in the store. But the fact is that now it's 10 years later, and case in point, you see these closet hangers. I don't know who our mystery listener is that's keeping track, but this is a home improvement part of the show.
Yeah. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get a timestamp for that so I can write that in the email. Okay. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. So this Stanley shelf and closet rod support. This house, every single closet was the shelf and the clothes hangers were mounted in properly. I mean, I won't go into all that, but it was just ridiculous. Nothing was level. The closet rods were totally not properly supported. So yesterday was the day for me to fix that problem. Well, if I were to show you down here, I've got about 10 different versions of these trying to find the best ones because most of them are not square. And I wanted them square. When I put it on the wall, I want it to work. I want everything to fit. Mm-hmm. I found these and determined that these were the best ones. Why? Because this solid steel rod, they're actually welded here. I've had these rods on the cheaper ones bend because they were overloaded, didn't want to overload it. These rock solid. These are very good. Well, I looked around, tried to find them, and nobody in town had them. I looked around online and found quite a few places that had them, but they had insane shipping charges, all sorts of things. Well, so finally yesterday at 11:30, I went online and I found them on Amazon. $18. I said, I ain't paying $18 for one of these. Then I started reading again because some of them were $13 at other vendors. And I started reading again, and that was $18 for 8 of them, including shipping.
Oh,
So I bought 2 boxes of them, same day delivery. They got here at 7 o'clock last night, and I have already finished the closets now. And the reason I'm saying all this is to illustrate that I'm Walmart, and let's assume this is a product that Walmart sells. My caution 10 years ago is I didn't need to deviate from my business model to get into online business because I'm doing retail walk-in. Well, guess what? Now online is absolutely competing with walk-in. If these had been in stock at Walmart, I very easily could have waited till after 7 o'clock to drive over there to pick them up. But instead, they're delivered to my home, including and no sales tax because of the way the vendor was set up, and delivered to my home for a very attractive price. So I think that all in all, Walmart screwed up by not being able to think far ahead enough to compete with Amazon early on. Now, if I'm in the public eye and I'm Walmart, then I'm going to say, well, come on, Mike, are you crazy? Amazon hasn't made a profit yet. Probably that is true, but do you think that Bezos hasn't made any money off of Amazon? Give me a break. Probably the reason they haven't made any money is because he's taking it all out. I don't know that. I'm just guessing, but I will assure you he's not doing it for the fun of it.
I think no, and I wasn't saying that Walmart shouldn't be competing with Amazon, but I think Amazon is the one-stop shop for all types of products. I think if Walmart wants to succeed online, they can still sell all their stuff online, but they need to pick one subcategory of products, have it be home goods, have it be something, and hit that really, really hard online and try to draw people over. Because honest to God, I have never purchased anything on Walmart online. I've never even gone there to purchase anything online.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? Walmart is predominantly a store that you go to, whereas they're now trying to compete online. Whereas Amazon is online and haven't got a store.
I've been there 5 times in the past 2 days. I'll go to Walmart all the time, but I've never looked at anything online because every time I've gone online on their website to look at something, it's sold by some weird third party, and I can just get it on Amazon and it's cheaper.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I think if they want to really kind of shove it to Amazon a little bit, they need to pick a category of something and say, this is what we're going to push really hard to sell online. We'll beat Amazon every price Amazon has on this type of product, and try to pull people over, and then maybe do a switch to general products. But I don't think people shop Walmart online. Maybe they do. I have no idea.
I think they have another fault there. They are, when you go to Walmart to shop online, it's not like they divert you to Jet.
No, they don't.
That's
a problem.
You have to go there. And a lot of people don't know that Jet is actually now owned by Walmart.
Yep.
So you have to know to go to Jet. If they would take you there and say, okay, you know what? We bought Jet. Jet is our online business, and everything is over there. We don't have stuff that we sell over here online in Walmart. When people go to Walmart, for online, it takes them to Jet. Then you will find a lot more. So, Mike, did you look for those brackets on Jet?
I did a Google search to find them. And by the way, I did buy something from Jet last week.
Okay.
How does that work? I've never purchased anything from there.
I don't got to remember what I bought.
And you have free shipping on many. Jet is how Walmart is competing.
No, that's not true. I mean, Walmart's been online for like 10 years.
No. But Jet is why they bought it, because that's where they're competing.
But nobody knows what. But most people don't even know what Jet is.
No, but they will.
That's their fault.
Well, you would think.
That's their fault. Yeah. Over there, you get like the first 3 purchases, you get 30% off, and you get free shipping on certain amounts, or you can buy a membership and just like Prime and get it within whatever. And I mean, they actually have, if they knew how to do it, in my opinion, they have a leg on Amazon because they have stores in every city. Amazon has to put a warehouse in certain places in order to do 2 days. I mean,
Yeah,
2 hours or whatever.
but a retail store and a distribution center are not the
Yeah,
same. Hardly.
correct. But I mean, they need to work toward it.
But I did. The order I placed at Jet was for 2 batteries for my UPS.
Yeah,
They had them for $17.50 each, including shipping,
there you go.
and they're not here yet. They should be here by Thursday.
Oh, so it was like a week?
Yeah, I mean, which is fine because I mean, for
Yeah.
the shipping on it, cost me $17.50 to ship one of them, so I'm sure they're going to ship it on a slow boat, which I don't have any problem with that. I
Yeah.
mean, $35 for 2 batteries, including shipping, and these are the big 7 amp hour, 12-volt batteries.
Dr. John is saying something nice in the chat. He said, if you order for Walmart for store pickup, nobody can steal the package from your porch.
Well, if they steal it, I've been very lucky so far, knock on wood. I've never had anything stolen as far as I can recall, but if they steal it, that's actually UPS's problem.
Yep.
Mike, you know how the house here is, and we have the front door, but we never use the front door. It's always the side door.
Right.
And the front door, the top of the stairs, is visible from the street. And every now and then there'll be a new driver for UPS or FedEx or whoever, and they'll leave it right there by the front door. So I took a page, I printed in big letters, do not leave packages here, leave by side door. The other day, we were sitting in the living room, and Gaia just started barking like something is going on outside. So you look outside, and there's that guy. There's a FedEx truck parked in front of the driver, and this guy is running toward the house with a box. I mean, he was racing. So I went out to get it from him because I figured, he may need the signature or something. Well, he's not there. So I walk over, and he is right there putting it on the steps by the front door and walking away. And I said, wait. He said, what? I said, you didn't see that note there? And he looked and said, oh, no, I didn't pay attention.
When I worked for the wedding photographer in New York, his office was a detached building at the back side of his house, and on his front door, I worked there for just over 2 years, and he had a big sign on the front door that says, "Packages, please get delivered to the back." And I'd pick up packages 5 days a week on his front step. These people are just the most incompetent group. I mean, they just don't care whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, and he lived on a major street, so you leave something on his front porch, his house is right off the road. Somebody's just going to come up and steal it.
Mm-hmm.
He's ordering wedding books and stuff like that. It's insane.
Yeah. I mean, that was actually better than the FedEx when I ordered that big LED strip. And they actually left it leaning on the mailbox post right on the street.
Wow.
I mean, amazing. Anyway.
It's a feature.
Yeah, it's a feature. Here's something else. According to Variety, AT&T's pay TV business has lost a record 351,000 traditional video customers in the second quarter, with the internet-delivered DirecTV Now service failing to fully offset the losses. A lot of people are cutting the cord and going away from that, and I guess they thought that they can deliver DirecTV on cable. What do they have? Uverse TV. It's not working out. Mike, you
My
still?
best friend just switched over from Speculum to AT&T.
No, I didn't.
My best friend. And internet and TV.
Yeah,
He's old fashioned.
yeah,
He's of the type like Amnon, where when you have a question, you pick up the phone, you call somebody, and you ask them.
yeah.
And once you've had to punch 15, 16 buttons to try to get to someone only to have disconnected, I mean, he goes into conniption.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, go
And,
ahead.
so anyway, they put in his Uverse TV, and there's one of the features that he just really doesn't like about it. And he's convinced that there's a way that they can fix it, and they just won't do it because they don't want to serve him. And he's called everywhere. He's called supervisors. He's talked to the Philippines. I mean, I've had to listen to multiple steps about it, and I'm sympathetic. I mean, he wants it to work the way he wants it to work, but the fact is that the equipment doesn't work that way, and they're not going to change it for him. So it's but the point being that the non-service they're offering is just unbelievable. They came around to sign him up at his home and made all these promises. They don't keep any of them. And when you look at the contract, you agreed to a verbal contract, and of course it doesn't. The written contract, you agreed to these terms verbally. It doesn't match anything at all that they told you. It's just a disgusting situation. And that's part of what it is. A lot of these companies are chasing their own customers away.
I wasn't really a fan of the Time Warner Spectrum merger, but the thing that Spectrum adopted across all of Time Warner is they no longer have contracts, which is nice. So you are free to cancel at any time, and they don't hold you to a contract.
Yeah, but you know what's the other side of that? They can raise it anytime they want.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they did that with Time Warner too. I mean, even with a contract, your bill would go up. Yeah, and then they do the slow roll. They $4 a month, $4 a month, $4 a month. And by the end of their contract, your bill's $500 more than it was when you signed up.
Yep.
Incrementalism.
Yeah. I mean, for example, my grandparents who refuse to go to the store and get their bill lowered, they have one cable box and the lowest tier of internet. Their bill is $250 a month.
They're crazy.
And I keep telling them, I said, go to the store.
Do it for them. Say you're him.
Well, I can't do it now, but
you can call them.
Yeah. I'm like, just go to the store. Our cable bill at my parents' house with 4 cable boxes and the highest tier internet was less than theirs, but they've had the same plan for probably 10 years.
Hmm.
And it just goes up and up and up, and they're not going to call you to lower your bill. They don't care. So it's but I did get a good deal from Spectrum. I got 100 megabits by 10 megabits for 1 year. The promotion lasts for 1 year for $39 a month with taxes. So
you didn't have the option for any other provider, did you?
No, but I think AT&T is making a pretty decent rollout here, but since I'm in a complex, I doubt they'll put anything in here.
No, actually,
on the contrary.
First there.
Well, then I searched the address a couple weeks ago and it was not available. So
yeah, they go first where there's a lot of more potential for more customers.
But I'll tell you, I'm pretty happy with the speeds down here.
The internet, look, Speculum's internet service, when it works well. It's the only 2 complaints I have with Speculum is Speculum and the fact that it's not symmetrical. It's asymmetrical. You've got 10 up, 100 down. I mean, on AT&T, I've got 500 up, 500 down. So, I mean, and I'm not abusing the up. I just don't have to worry about a cap on the up. The fact is that when I want to upload something to somewhere, almost in every case, the receiving server is not fast enough to take advantage of my upload speed.
Right, exactly.
But so what? I mean, at least it eliminates one of several bottlenecks.
And to feed onto that point, Mike, when I was signing up at the store, I asked the gentleman who was signing me up, what is the up speed? He goes, it's somewhere, it's pretty good. And I was like, no, I said, I need to speak to somebody that can tell me the actual speed. He's like, well, upload's not really important. I was like, please, I'm asking what the upload speed was. And then he got somebody to come over that knew what the upload speed was. But I mean, you think about it though, would it be rash to say that 98% of the people don't care what the upload speed is?
Yes.
Well, they may care and not know it.
Yeah. I mean, how many people are uploading content online?
Well, the people that are using OneDrive and iCloud and stuff like that, a lot, I would imagine.
There you go. Steve's exactly right.
Yeah,
true.
but they really don't care whether it's going to take this time or that time. They click upload it and they go and do their stuff because that's how
Most of those
users-
services are metered, bandwidth limited things anyway.
See, I mean, I would if I would use a backup to the cloud, and I would use Cloud Drive and whatever name it might want to be if I had a decent upload speed. I've got 1 meg upload speed. I don't even want to try because I know it's
Yeah.
going to take half a day.
Well, I mean, the nice thing with Carbon is it uploads very slowly, which is good because I want it to upload slow. I want it to be I don't want it to kill my bandwidth every single time I'm doing an update.
No, you can get a net limiter, a program that will limit your net so that you can limit it so it's not creaming your bandwidth totally. But
Yeah,
at
I
least
like how
10 meg up would be nice. I've got
yeah,
one.
well, I had 5 before. Now I have 10, and I'm quite satisfied with that.
Yeah. Back in the day when I was BitTorrenting, that was different.
Yeah, just give it a little time, and Nick is going to have 300 and then a terabyte. And
One could only hope.
Gig. Yeah, it'll happen. All right, let's see. The next thing I have here is another story about Google. Google expelled 20 Android apps from its Play marketplace after finding they contain code for monitoring and extracting users' emails, text messages, locations, voice calls, and other sensitive data. The apps, which made their way onto about 100 phones, exploited known vulnerabilities to root devices running older versions of Android.
Nice.
As a result, the apps were capable of accessing sensitive data, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I don't know where they would have to record the call while it's happening. It's not like you can get it afterwards. But they were received by at least a dozen other apps, including Gmail, Hangouts, LinkedIn, and Messenger. The now ejected apps also collected messages sent and received by WhatsApp. Yeah, WhatsApp.
What's up, Amnon?
Telegram, and Viber, which all encrypt data in an attempt to make it harder for attackers to intercept messages while in transit. To conceal their surveillance capabilities, the apps posed as utilities for cleaning unwanted files or backing up data. And they did get into the Play Store.
Yep. I'm not a fan of how iOS charge. Well, actually, so this actually changed.
This is Android.
Yeah, I was going to say we learned this. I learned this with the when we were creating the app for the radio station. Google used to allow anybody to submit anything to the store. You actually have to pay now. It's $25 one time.
Yeah.
To submit an app, which is I would assume cutting down on the amount of.
I don't think it's per app.
Like
I think it's
no, it's one time.
developer.
Same thing with Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Apple, you pay $100 a year to have access. But with Google, for a long time, it was you just created a Google account and you were rocking and rolling. You didn't have to.
Yeah,
have to pay anything.
They need the money.
It's not the money. I'm glad that they're charging that. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not.
Yeah,
if I'm trying to.
They're
infect a bunch of
weeding
people's
out
phones, I'm going to
the
release
refract.
20 apps into the store from different Google accounts, and I'll be good to go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm glad they're doing that.
Yeah, but if you have an older phone with older Android on it version, go online and find out which apps they were and see if you're using. I mean, they were saying here in the article that they found a way onto about 100 phones. That's not too bad.
No, that's nothing. In an Android field, that's not absolutely nothing.
Right. 919-518-9773. Computers 2K voice on Skype.
All right, so I have a technical question.
No.
Okay.
Why would you think about bringing it up in this?
In this form.
Because I'm tired of talking about home improvement.
Okay,
All right.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. So this has to do with home improvement. No, of all the technical things that I understand, which is several, I don't understand the current protocol for garage door openers. Mine are made by Overhead Door Company, or their Genie brand installed by Overhead Door Company.
Mhm.
One of them has a single button that operates the left door. The other one has 3 buttons, and the center button operates the right door. The first and third buttons don't do anything. I'm not sure how to go about getting 2 remotes with 2 buttons that operate the left and the right door.
It's from, I don't know how old the system is, but from what I understood with them, you can purchase the openers kind of like a universal remote, and you do the same thing where you enter a set of codes until you get the right code and it opens up the door. I believe that's how it works, unless it's a very new system, which that may have completely changed.
There's 65,000 codes.
Well, you've got the same thing though. You know what type of opener it is, and I mean, I just programmed a universal remote for my TV, and there was probably 50 codes for Vizio. I entered the first one and it worked. So I think it's the same thing.
I mean, back in the old days, the really old systems had dip switches.
No, it's definitely not that.
Yeah.
I do think it's like a universal remote though. You just have to purchase one of the blank units and then get the right codes.
And I wonder if this thing, whatever the code is, if it's programmed to a default code, if people can ride around opening garage doors.
I mean, it's the same thing with car keys. There's a chance somebody else that owns the same car as you can open your car.
Okay.
Door,
John said the code should be inside the opener motor.
Oh, okay. There you go.
How the heck am I supposed to get in there to climb on the ladder to open the?
Climb on a ladder.
I can't get to it. Too much crap.
Have you got any tall friends?
I don't have any friends at all.
There you go. But I'm pretty sure it's a similar code system.
I hope it's not on 0000000.
That's a good one to start with.
It'd be rather troubling, wouldn't it?
You never know. But
it is. I mean, what are the chances though of something like that happening? I mean, think about it. Everybody's got those door openers. If you've got whatever brand garage door opener, there is got to be that if you were driving near somebody else's house and you were spamming, if you were driving around pressing that button, you'd inevitably open a garage door.
Oh, it used to be big things down here before you were born, Nick.
Thank you.
I mean, seriously, people were riding around. It was fun and games, really. Us old timers will tell you that back. See, remember when email came about? There was no need for spam protection. No one thought about using email for spam. It just didn't even occur to us. I remember the phone call I got from a good friend of mine who said, "Mike, I just got an email from this nasty such and such and so and so. Where did they get my email address?" I mean, it was just a bizarre thing for him to see it the first time. And I said, well, that's called spam. And here's what the problem is. And at that time, there probably was no way to prevent it.
I love it when people say, "Where did you get my number?"
Yeah.
I just randomly post a number and it's yours.
I got a call this week from a vendor who I believe sold my information to a different type of vendor. So.
And did you figure out which vendor sold?
Oh, absolutely. I know exactly who it was.
Okay.
Okay. So
and unfortunately, it's company information too. It's not just private information. I mean, the information got sold. Somebody.
All right, So my email address for purchasing from Walmart online is Walmart at one of my domain names.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I get an email to that email address and it's not from Walmart, guess where it came from?
Yeah.
Walmart.
And it's just an alias. It's not an email account.
Right. But you
That's
can,
big,
but you
big
can-
money, big business.
You can block it. And
No,
and
that's why it's an
and-
alias.
Saying knowing the code allows me to open the door from a button in my SUV with no remote. Well, of course, the remote's built into your SUV, but that's why I would like to get a handle on this thing, because I've got this one remote with 3 buttons on it, and it looks to me like if button 1 operated the left door and button 2 operated the right door, which button 2 does operate the right door, then that would be logical.
Oh, wait, then if you've already got the remote, you can probably reprogram that first button.
I understand that, but I'm
Gotcha.
telling you that until I get a feel for how this is set up and what see, my old house, I had 28 years, we didn't have a garage. I've never had a garage door because I've never had a garage. I'll figure it out, but it's just one more thing.
yeah. Maybe you find something from that Genie company.
Yep, that's a good FAQ that he posted that'll help me understand, get a feel for it.
Yeah.
And this is silly because first thing here it says, get the owner's manual for your specific model. It never occurred to me to go look it up. I just haven't spent any time on it. I mean, it's not like it wouldn't be obvious.
Priorities.
Yeah, the bad thing is in Ohio, we'll have to send Merle over there to straighten them out.
Yeah, you can take care of it.
Going back to the email that you were talking about, the Walmart at, and I talked about that before. Anybody can use or try to use that system. Is send yourself, if you are at Gmail, try and send yourself an email to, if your email is john@gmail.com, send it to john-walmart@gmail.com or John plus Walmart and see if you get it. Most systems these days, most email systems these days support that. So you can actually you don't need to go, create an email on your domain. All you have to do is add it on the fly. So if you are shopping on Jet and you want to and you're registering, so you put john-jet@gmail.com or at any domain. And it'll come to your regular mailbox. It's not a new email. It's just an alias.
But it'll show up in the header.
Yeah,
it's
it'll
going.
show that that's who it came to.
I wonder how hard it would be to filter that. I was thinking initially.
Very easy.
Well, I'm talking about for the spammers to get these email addresses when they see this Amnon-Walmart.
Well,
and I was thinking it would be easy to filter it, but then again, somebody's echoing.
Yeah.
But then I've got an email address that I copied from Time Warner was SMTP-server. So if they filtered out the dash part of that, the email address would be broken.
Yeah, but the thing is, Mike, that will never happen because there are a lot of email addresses with hyphens. So either they break a bunch of them.
Okay.
Like you're talking about filtering your Walmart email address.
I'm talking about spammers being able to delineate between this.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, never mind then. So, because what I do is I've got one for a form that I'm on. It's at my Gmail account, but it's a form, and I've got it set so since it's a form system, the emails always come from the same person or the same email address because it's a form, and I've got it filtered that if it's to this alias, it has to be from the form bot email address, or it just instantly goes to spam.
All right, explain something to me related yet unrelated.
Yeah.
Why doesn't Gmail have the ability to bounce a message?
It doesn't?
I can't figure out how to do it. It's such that if I get one from Nick, it bounces. This address is not available.
Oh, you're trying to bounce it back so that nobody.
Yeah, you can automatically delete it. I have an email, a Gmail account with my email address very close to my name. It's kind of a keeper. Unfortunately, a lot of people get it wrong, and every day I'll get 1 or 2 emails from doctors, pharmacies, car washes, directly written to the person who's so stupid that they either put the wrong email address in or the company entered it incorrectly. I would like to be able to block it. What now? All I can do is mark them as spam. And some of these companies are legitimate companies, but I'll tell you what happens. You want to get on my bad side? You send me an email from a no reply email address.
Oh, forget that.
And I've got to go log in and try to figure out how to contact you and tell you got it wrong. Another thing too is that if you set up an email list, you better make it double opt-in. And that is that somebody signs up for deltaforce.net email address. The first email says, someone signed up. This email address is signed up to be on it. Please click here to confirm that this is the correct email address. And if you don't have that, I flag it as spam.
Mike, I don't use Gmail. I mean, I use it, but it's just a forward. Does Gmail have the option for if you're on vacation?
Yep.
Yes.
Then that's what you do.
Well,
You
no, I want it to bounce.
Yeah, it'll bounce.
Well, that's essentially a bounce. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a vacation. It goes back to the sender and said, and you can put whatever you want in there. Said you just sent an email to the wrong email address.
If it's sent from a no reply email address, it goes back into the ether.
Yeah.
If it bounces, then they have some way of determining how many of their messages are delivered.
Oh no, wait a second. That is not up to you to do. Gmail does that. If somebody is sending something, you want it
I want it to bounce.
Yeah.
So you want every incoming email to bounce? What are you trying to bounce?
I want to be able to decide which for example, if you go into cPanel, you can set an email address there that whenever it hits that server says, sorry, that email address is not here.
So I think what you're looking for is you're looking for Gmail's blacklist. If you blacklist an address, that's what will happen. It will bounce.
I didn't even know they had blacklist.
Yeah, you can blacklist or whitelist emails.
Yeah, I didn't know they had.
I think that's what you're looking for. If you're not trying to bounce everything, so you get one email from them and go, "This is garbage," and then add that to the blacklist, and then
if it's from no reply, I've got about 2 people who send me no reply emails that I have to receive. One of the bar I have to receive, so I can't just block everything with no reply. I'm thinking about doing that. But when I have to work to do them a favor or else put up with their crap, then that's a problem.
Yeah, but that's what a blacklist will be, is you don't want to receive emails from amnon@deltaforce.net. You go into your blacklist, and you say, add this to the blacklist. I don't want to get anything from that. Why do you care about sending it back?
Because there has to be some way for these mass mailers to manage themselves. They have to be able to know what their delivery rate is. If not, they're going to end up mailing 1 million and having 115,000 delivered.
That's too bad. That's not your problem.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, but it costs money to send email, and I know that they do like to manage their email lists.
If they send it from no reply, hey.
Yeah, but there's a way of telling when they're delivered, even though they don't have the opportunity.
And do you really think that somebody would pay attention to it on the other side?
It's all automatic.
Yeah.
So this is interesting. So just a couple of minutes ago, I had to call Microsoft about my Xbox account. I called the number. It asked me what department I'd like to be transferred to. I pressed the 2 on the touch pad, and it instantly transferred me to a real person, which was surprising.
A breathing person.
Yes, right away. And it was surprising. It wasn't like...
And it's Sunday.
And I hate to say it, he was American.
Oh, my goodness. You better mark the calendar.
Yeah, I called quick. I was on the phone for 30 seconds. Or, excuse me, I was on the phone for probably 3 minutes and solved my problem, and we were good to go.
Well, I will tell you that several of us here are entrepreneurial, and if not all of us. And I will tell you that my friend and his problems with AT&T, and he's very entrepreneurial. He's done very well for himself. And I reminded him, I said, you realize there's a business opportunity here. He said, in doing what? And I said, opening a business and giving customer service. That's how Apple is screwing all their customers.
Customer service is a thing of the past, unfortunately.
See, there you go. And so if somebody starts providing it, it will be unique and will cause people to do business with you.
Yeah.
Because every business has to have a unique marketing position, and giving customer service is now eligible to become one of those.
I don't remember who it was. I think it was actually, I think it was this place I'm at in Wilmington. The complex is it's a management company, and they own a whole bunch of things. Their phone system is the biggest pile of junk in the world. I mean, you just press and press and press and press, and then you end up getting a voicemail. You're on the phone for 10 minutes and you end up stuck with a voicemail. It's bizarre to me how poorly designed these phone trees are.
Right. So what I would do, again, for my mental health, which suffers a lot anyway, but what I would do is I would record that and put it on YouTube. Say, if you choose to rent from these people, be prepared for interacting with them after the fact. Oh, we can't have that. Well, who knows that? See, the bottom line is the CEO of the company probably has no clue that his company has those issues. And that's too bad. That's his problem or her problem. They should investigate and know these things, not just leave it to people who are not concerned about solving the problem.
Yeah, I mean, you tell the tech people, hey, we need a phone system that does this, this, and this. They don't care about usability. They're making sure it does whatever tasks has been requested. They don't care about it being easy.
I'll tell you this, we'll end with this, but I'm on, talking about emails, I'm on the Staples email list, and they send out an email every day or every 2 days. I mean, they send out a lot, but that's okay. They don't bother me. They go into a folder and I look at them if I need them. But they sent out one that had like the word paper and then about 30 graphic symbols after it.
Yeah, I saw that. The emojis. Yeah, yeah, I saw it. Yeah, that was good.
So I went to Twitter and I said, I don't remember what it was. I said, well, whoever decided to send out business emails with this subject line is not very smart. And they replied, oh, but it got your attention, smiley face.
See, I disagree. See, I completely disagree with you because the emoji.
I would block them right there.
I deleted the email without opening it.
That's
effective.
That's fine. That's fine. But I think for a lot of younger people, see, I don't mind seeing those in my email whatsoever. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, well.
And you got to remember, it's not really a business email. You're signing up for their stupid flyer or whatever.
Their money's made in business.
Correct, but you're not signing up for a business list. You're signing up for the regular e-list.
Well, if they wanted to sell me something, they failed. And I will tell you something. It has to do with branding, as you will learn. A lot of it has to do with branding. It has to do with public perception. It has to do with attitude towards your business. And why would you do anything to create ill will for your business?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go out on a limb here and try not to step on anybody's toes. I would imagine the person that is leading the you wouldn't call it the social team, the interactive team or whatever that deals with those emails is probably a little bit older and is probably thinking these are what's hot right now. These are what people want to see and sending those out. Because if it was a young person like me, not a chance in hell I'd be putting one of those in an email. It's probably somebody that's a little bit older and thinks it's trying to keep modern.
Thinks it's cute.
Well, they're trying to stay modern with stuff, but it doesn't work. They do that in every single one of their emails has an emoji.
I mean, and my point was, this is stupid. It's just like Office Depot and Staples are sending out emails every day. Great deal on paper, $27 a case. Only through Friday, $27 a case. Saturday, you get a new email. Hey, paper's now on sale. It's $27 a case.
Let me log in. So Teespring sends out emojis in their emails. Teespring, every single email they send has an emoji. DraftKings sends out, they have emojis.
I don't mind one.
No, I think they're kind of, it depends. They're kind of cool.
I don't mind one so long as it's not the first character in the subject line because it
it's
not
not
up sorting.
Yeah, Gab's, every one of Gab's emails has the frog. They send out emojis. Microsoft Rewards actually has an emoji. Green Man Gaming. This one's a sale. It's got a lightning bolt. That's got an emoji.
You're probably right. It's somebody that's a little bit older that's going, this is hip at the moment.
So let me send you this one. This one actually doesn't bother me. This one will bother Mike because it's the first thing is an emoji. But I'm gonna post this in chat. I don't mind that email. Amnon, I don't know if you can pull that up over the stream. That doesn't bother me. Because that's actually a real sale, and I actually purchased something from that sale because it was actually a real 80% off flash sale.
Right. But some of these things, the emojis are not properly translated and they show up as ASCII characters. It looks like crap. If that email, if a screen capture of that email, if I showed it to the CEO of the company, I said, this is the image your company is projecting, he or she would go crazy.
How about this one, Mike? You'll love this one. This is a gem. Check that. That's a fantastic email.
I would delete it without opening it.
It's an automated system.
Yeah, I would delete it without opening.
Yeah.
This one says grill when it's hot. It's got a fire flame icon. That doesn't bother me. Microsoft sends out.
But see, I know I'm old fashioned in another way too, Nick. If you send me an email with text speak in it, I delete it.
The next time I send you an email, the subject line is gonna be completely emojis, and you're gonna have to determine what it is.
Might as well not waste time typing anything in the body of the letter because I won't open it.
I'll see if it'll be a really important message.
That people and it will go unread because people who take time to do that or don't take time to communicate in English have nothing to say that's going to be important in my life.
Now, one other emoji,
text speak.
Yeah.
One other emoji, the email that I like is when somebody goes live on YouTube. YouTube sends out a red circle emoji in as the first character in the subject line. I like that because it's a timely thing that it pops out at me.
Yeah, but by your own admission, you youngins are not into email.
I mean, it depends. I don't think people are into email in the sense that they use email clients and they've got 50 different email accounts. But this is the thing: like if you use Uber, if you use Amazon, if you use any of these, hell, if you use Snapchat or Instagram or Facebook, you have to have an email account. You have to. It's not a option. You can't create an account without it. I mean, let me go through a couple of apps on my phone. I don't know any. Trying to think of some other modern apps. Everything requires an email address. So even if you don't like it, you have to have one.
All right.
Emoji talk.
Emoji. Anything else anybody wants to answer? I mean, to ask, to add?
No.
It's that time.
It's past time.
It's past the time. All right.
Toodaloo.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheerio.
Thanks, Steve, Jorvik.
Thank you.
Nick, Mike. Good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie, and Donna. Thank you, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing, back up your hard drive, and update your virus scanner. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. While you're at it, like us on Facebook and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And tonight at 7, Nick Craig with his show Against the Norm on Wilmington Big Talker, 106.7 FM. And you can also get it on TuneIn. See you, everybody.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by Telestream's Wirecast software, StreamingGear.com, Carolina Apparel, and DeltaForce.net.